Hey, True Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Thursday, November 17th, 2016. Later today will be Thursday night football. The New Orleans Saints are traveling to the Carolina Panthers, a division rival. What we're going to talk about in this video is how tonight's game is a scripted tribute to the death of Will Smith, the former NFL football player who played for the New Orleans Saints, who was on the winning Super Bowl Saints team, Super Bowl 44, who died this year, April 9th, after supposedly being in a small car accident after leaving a police function. The story was he got in a small fender bender. The other driver of the other vehicle got out and shot him to death. Very bizarre story. I have a lot of videos from earlier this year on it. We're going to talk about how tonight's game is a definite tribute to his death, the number he wore, 91, and more. Remember, the night that Will Smith, the football player, died was the same night that Will Smith, the actor, was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award from the MTV Movie Awards. That night they had a gold and black theme, just like the colors the Saints wear. Saints colors right here. Same colors that night for the MTV Movie Awards. Will Smith, the actor, Lifetime Achievement Award. This is Will Smith, the football player who died that night. Will Smith last year was also in two football-related movies. He was in the Concussion movie. He was also in another movie called Focus, set in New Orleans, that had to do with gambling and numbers. So anyway, check this out. Today's date, November 17th, 2016, date with 44 numerology. Date with 44 numerology. The name Will Smith in gematria sums to 44. So does the word kill. Today's date, it's the day that leaves 44 days left in the year. Again, he was on the Super Bowl 44 team. And at the time of his death, the headlines were coding left and right the number 44 all over it. Go back and see that earlier work. Tonight's game between the Saints and Panthers is going to be their 44th game all time. 44th game all time tonight on this date with 44 numerology, number on Will Smith, number of days left in the year. And Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, comes into this game with 91 wins. 91 wins, the number Will Smith wore. In gematria, New Orleans Saints equals 64, also like today's date numerology. And with the S exceptions, New Orleans Saints sums to 91. You add 9 more for each S. There are 3 S's in the name. That's 27 more, 64 plus 27, 91, like the number Will Smith wore for the Saints. Today's date also has a life lesson number at 37. Saints has gematria of 37, so does Carolina. If the Panthers lost tonight, they'd become 3-7. It's possible the Panthers lose, but for those of you who are just here to see who I think's going to win, I do suspect Carolina will win tonight. It's not a super clear call, but there's a lot of evidence that Carolina will win, including the Chicago Cubs player who's there to beat the drum for them. We'll talk about that. So Will Smith, he died April 9th. A date with 49 numerology. Cam Newton's going for his 49th career win this evening. Check this out. From the day Will Smith died, which was April 9th, 2016, supposedly shot to death in New Orleans, to today's game is a span of 223 days. 223, the number for Masonic, the number for the Synagogue of Satan. When you write out Will Smith in simple English gematria, it sums to 125. And when you write 125 in gematria, it also sums to 223. Very special number to Freemasonry. Today, November 17th, is the 322nd day of the year because we're in a leap year. 322, the reflection of 223. See how this also lines up in addition to the 44s? You know? Wait until I show you what's up with Will Smith's father, who just passed November 7th. So tonight's game, the spread, the over-under. The over-under is at 52.5, so somewhere between 52 and 53. Cam Newton, counting the playoffs, is going for his 52nd game tonight. 53, the name Will Smith with the S exception sums to 53, just like the word shooting. The word shooting is 44 and 53 with the S exception. Will Smith, 44 and 53. The reflection of 53 is 35. The word Catholic is 35. The word religion is 53. Remember earlier this year, the Mother Teresa tribute? That was all synced up with what was going on with the Saints game. I got a video on that. Saints. You become a saint in the Catholic faith after death. You can be, made a saint, essentially, an honor. They made her Saint Teresa this year. So anyway, looking at the records, if the Saints lost tonight, the Saints are favored to lose. The Panthers are 3.5-point favorites. If the Saints lost and the Panthers won, the Saints would become 4-6 and the Panthers would become 4-6. And what that makes me think of is how the Panthers were in the Super Bowl last year. The Panthers were in Super Bowl 50 last year, which was the 46th Super Bowl of the modern era because the first 4 Super Bowls, the AFL and NFL hadn't merged. Levi's Stadium, which hosted Super Bowl 50, equals 46. San Francisco equals 50. It was the San Francisco 49ers. 49, a big number in the death of Will Smith. 49ers and Saints used to be in the same division. Anyway, Levi's Stadium, 46. The word sacrifice equals 46. If Will Smith really was killed that night, no doubt something more bizarre to the story than what we've been told. And he was purposefully murdered by the numbers. Essentially an occult ritual sacrifice. 46, a special number. When you write out 46, it sums to 46. Both teams could potentially be 4-6 tonight with all these numbers lining up with Will Smith, who his reported death, very suspicious. By the way, from Super Bowl 50 to Will Smith's death, Super Bowl 50. Oh no, that's a mistake, Truth Seeker. I got to go back and edit that. That is not correct. Ignore. The Super Bowl was February 8th, not March 8th. But hold on, I still want to check that. I want to do that the right way. Put that together too quick. It was February 7th. I know why I wrote March 8th. February 7th is the 38th day of the year. Panthers equals 38, so does the word gold. The 49ers hosted Super Bowl 50, the golden anniversary, the team named after the gold rush. On the 38th day of the year, gold 38, Panthers 38. So from that date to Will Smith's death, how many days was that really? 62 days, or a span of 63 days. 62 days after, or if you count February 7th as well, that's 63 days. And remember, when you count 1 through 63, it sums to 2016. I'm glad I double-checked that because I already have a note upcoming on 63. Just a reminder to always double-check your work. I wrote March 8th because I was thinking 38th day of the year, 3-8. And I said, oh, wow, 33. Got too excited too quick. But that's not what it was. It was 63 days. So I'll edit that. My fault if you read that already. Apologies. Always double check my work. Sometimes I make mistakes. But here we are. New Orleans Saints. It's the 44th game tonight with all this 44 on it. If the way this reads is this is from the Carolina Panthers perspective. Against the New Orleans Saints, they've played 43 times. Tonight will be number 44. They've won 23, they've lost 20. If the Panthers win tonight, it'll be win number 24. Win number 24 is interesting because when you write out 24 as a word, it sums to 50, just like San Francisco. The final score in the Super Bowl was 24-10. The Broncos won. And if you missed my work last year on how I predicted the Super Bowl would be Broncos over Panthers, I predicted Von Miller would be the MVP, I predicted there'd be a Black Panther tribute, and I did it all way before the playoffs were even set. But anyway, what I knew is in history, the Broncos lost in Super Bowl 24 to the 49ers. 49ers and Panthers have a relationship too. George Seifert, coaches, players. Anyway, if in Super Bowl 24, the Broncos got blown out by the 49ers. The 49ers won 55-10. And last year, John Elway, who played in Super Bowl 24, who got blown out, last year John Elway was 55 years old, and so were the Broncos. and they were playing in the 49ers stadium. You know, are you following what I'm saying? If the Saints won tonight, they'd become 5-5. I mean, the Saints, maybe, but I really think it's going to go in the way of the Panthers tonight. And we'll get to more on why that is. Drew Brees, it's going to be his 237th game all time tonight. He's going for his 135th win or his 103rd loss. He's on the road. He's looking for his 62nd win or his 58th loss. He's going up against Cam Newton. 58 was a huge number for Cam Newton last year. Cam Newton was the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. There had been 57 before him. Peyton Manning had already been one, so Cam Newton became number 58. That was interesting because Freemasonry equals 58, secret society equals 58. The person who started the Black Panther Party, their name was Huey P. Newton. Cam Newton, the quarterback with the team with the Black Panther on the side of their helmet. Huey P. Newton equals 58. So does Oakland, where he started the Black Panther Party. Last year's Super Bowl hosted by the 49ers, not far from Oakland. The Carolina Panthers representing in it. Cam Newton becoming the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. Von Miller, number 58, drafted right behind Cam Newton, MVP. So anyway, Drew Brees could get his 58th loss tonight against Cam Newton on the road, all time. In the regular season, Drew Brees, this will be his 226th game. We were talking about 226 a lot earlier with the Patriots this year. Didn't see my work on the Patriots and Texans. That was a Thursday night game, if I'm not mistaken, as well. In the regular season, Drew Brees is going for his 129th win. America in Jewish gematria, 129. Andrew Luck, his birthday is September 12th. He's also born on a date with 129 birth numerology. 97 losses. Here we are in the 97th season of the NFL. He's going to be on the road, so he's looking for his 60th win or his 54th loss tonight. 60th win or 54th loss. When you write out 226 as a word, it sums to 93. And he's playing against Cam Newton, who's going to play in his 93rd game all time tonight. Cam Newton looking for his 52nd win. He's at home. He's going for win number 30 or loss number 19. Saturn is the keeper of time to the occult. Saturn is represented by the numbers 93 and 30. In his 93rd game, can he get his 30th win all-time at home? In Charlotte, Charlotte equals 39, the reflection of 93. You know? And with regards to black men and leaders, let's not forget that Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X were both killed at age 39. Both of their names in gematria, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., they both sum to 93. Both of those men only met one time in history on a date with 93 numerology. MLK gave his last speech on the 93rd day of the year. Both of them were killed by the number 44 too. The word kill equals 44. Malcolm X's assassin was Thomas Hagen. Thomas Hagen equals 44. He got 44 years in prison. He killed Malcolm X on a date with 44 numerology. Martin Luther King Jr. died on 4/4, April 4th. Remember the relationship between 44 and April 4th through gematria. So Cam Newton, 93rd game tonight. Symbolic game. Number related with death, assassination. You know, Will Smith. All the 44 on this game. What I'm trying to tell you guys is this is no coincidence. This is what is going on in this world. This is the gang that is ruling over us. The people who control your money, who control your media, who control your government, who distract you with things such as professional sports, professionally rigged and deceptive sports. With regards to him going for his 52nd win tonight, that's the number of prophecy, and Charlotte, North Carolina has gematria of 106, number of prophecy. If you missed my work earlier this year on the Tulsa, the police shooting of the man who was stranded on the side of the highway in Tulsa, I'm trying to remember his name. Crutcher, something like that. That man who was shot, I was showing how that story out of Oklahoma was a recreation of the Tulsa race riots, which were all around the number 106. And then what happened right after that? Next day, a shooting in Charlotte. I think his name was Keith Lamont Scott. It was Terrence Crutcher in Tulsa, I think, and Keith Lamont Scott in Charlotte. Anyway, then the next day it was Charlotte, North Carolina with the 106 coding. You know, these numbers are special to the gang. You learn to recognize the patterns. You can often make the correct sports predictions. They code the same thing in your news stories as they do in your sports games, creating the same patterns. Prophecy 52-106. Charlotte, North Carolina 106. Cam Newton going for number 52 at home. Plus the whole 30-93 thing. In the regular season, Cam Newton, this will be his 87th game tonight. He's going for his 49th win. Will Smith dead on April 9th, 4-9. Date with 49 numerology as it fell this year. It'll be his 27th win at home if he wins. He's 27 years old, 27, considered fateful number. Remembering the death of Will Smith, you know. If he lost, he would get his 38th loss tonight. Panthers 38, death 38, killing 38. Again, the Super Bowl they lost in last year was on the 38th day of the year. Team that won last year was from Colorado. Colorado's the 38th state, plus Colorado equals 38. All things I was documenting throughout the season last year. So here's that piece about 63. Drew Brees, his last birthday, he's 37 years old right now. His last birthday was 307 days ago. That's the 63rd prime number. 63rd prime number. Will Smith died 63 days after the Super Bowl. When you count 1 through 63, it sums to 2016. Sean Payton could get his 63rd career loss tonight. We often see the relationships between what's going on with the coach and the quarterback and the scripting. So, you know, I think that I'm reading it correctly here tonight. I think we're going to see the Carolina Panthers win at home, becoming 4-6 for both teams. Cam Newton, he was born May 11th, 1989. From his 27th birthday to today is 190 days, or a span of 191 days. Society of Jesus equals 191. That's the Jesuit order. Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope. We saw how this number was coded into the college basketball championship earlier this year, won by the Catholic school just outside of Philadelphia. Pope Francis left Philadelphia on the Jesuit order's birthday. The Society of Jesus is the Jesuit order. Talking about Catholics, saints, the death of Will Smith, you know. Carolina Panthers also have that gematria of 84. In the George Orwell book, 1984, it said all it took was beer, football, and gambling to rule the people. That was the only distraction necessary to make them tolerate absolute tyranny. Welcome to America. I noticed Ron Rivera, the coach of the Panthers, this game's coming 45 weeks after his birthday. New Orleans, 45. Drew Brees, 45. It's also a span of 51 weeks since his last birthday. Typo here, this should say weeks. Or his upcoming birthday is 51 days, or a span of 52 days, excuse me. Too many numbers sometimes, you know. If I'm overwhelming you with the numbers, you guys, sometimes just pause the video and come back, because I know it's a lot of information. But anyway, his upcoming birthday, 51 days. He is going for his 51st career win, and here we are in the season of Super Bowl 51. He has 50 regular season wins. He could get number 51 tonight. You know, season of Super Bowl 51. I think the Saints are the last team to win a Super Bowl in that division, if I'm not mistaken. He has 3 wins and 3 losses in the postseason, so tonight could also be his 54th total win. New Orleans has that gematria of 54 as well, fitting to get number 54 against them. Sean Payton, this will be his 154th regular season game. Notice how he comes in with 91 wins, you know? Will Smith wore number 91. I have a feeling he'll be stuck on 91 wins after tonight. Also, Thursday night football. The Saints all time, this will be their 7th game tonight. 49, the square root of 49, 7. They are 2-4 on Thursday night football. Their 2 games up here, their first and their most recent win. Check this out. The last time they won was over the Carolina Panthers. It was October 30th, 2014. That was a date with 54 numerology. New Orleans connects to 54. The Saints won that day over the Panthers. The score was 28-10, a sum of 38 points. Little tribute to the Panthers in the score. The first time they ever played, December 11th, 2008, that was a date with 51 numerology, and the score was 27-24, sum of 51 points. You know? So often you pay attention to the dates, or the date numerology, and you see the numbers that are reported throughout the game. You know, it's in your face. It's how the games are being scripted. The Carolina Panthers, they have played 5 times on Thursday Night Football. They've only won 1 time. They're 1-4. If they lost tonight, they'd be 1-5. If they won, they'd be 2-4, kind of like 24, and they're going for their 24th win against the Saints. Their first loss ever was December 22nd, 2007. To the Dallas Cowboys. That was a date with 41 numerology. 41's the 13th prime number. Dallas equals 13. Panthers lost with 13 points in that game. Also a sum of 33 points. Their most recent win on Thursday Night Football, October 24th, 2013. That was a date with 47 numerology. Panthers with the S exception is 47. 38 plus 9 more. I don't think the Panthers will lose tonight, but if they did lose tonight and became 1-5, 15 equals 38, Panthers 38, death 38, killing 38. I looked at the all-time Thursday Night Football records. The best record on Thursday Night Football is the Colts. They're undefeated. The only undefeated team on Thursday Night Football. 7-0, the Colts. So tonight, the Cubs' Carl Edwards Jr. is coming out to bang on that drum that Steph Curry banged on for the Super Bowl. Steph Curry, a fan of the Panthers. They call it the keep pounding drum. Keep pounding equals 65, 74, 137. 137, the 33rd prime number. 74, number for Masonic, the reflection of 47 connecting to the team name. Carl Edwards. The man coming out. Look at his birthday. September 3rd, a date that can be written 9/3 or 3/9. Again, Charlotte equals 39. Saturn 93. It's Cam Newton's 93rd all-time game. His birth numerology, 9 plus 3 plus 91. That's 103. The Cubs won 103 games this year. Billy Goat equals 103. Curse of the Billy Goat. What are the odds? He's from South Carolina. From his birthday to tonight's game is 75 days. Carolina Panthers, 75. World Series, with the S exceptions, is 75. Ron Rivera's got the connection. With regards to both teams potentially being 4-6, Chicago equals 46. But then again, Chicago and Pythagorean gematria equals 37. Like Carolina, which is also their potential record. So a tough one to call there. The thing to take away, though, is just how these games are synced up and how they're scripted up to this point. All the 44 on this game. Sean Payton coming in with 91 wins. Not coincidence. When these headlines were coming out, the media was doing things like this, emphasizing certain phrases, having a blast. What's that equal? 44, like Will Smith, like kill. Look at this. Speaking of 44 and Will Smith's father just died on November 7th, day before the election. Janet Reno died that day. Leonard Cohen died that day. If you missed my videos on their deaths, check it out. But a number of things stood out here. We were talking about the Jesuits. Notice that their full names, Will Smith and his father, Will Smith's a junior, their full name, Willard Carroll Smith, sums to 227. And that's a number associated with the Jesuits. The Jesuit University, Fordham, gematria of 227. Remember, when you divide 22 by 7, you get the number for pi, having to do with cycles and circles. Very special number. Will Smith getting the Lifetime Achievement Award when the football player being shot dead. Will Smith was going to start in a film later this year called Suicide Squad, where he plays the character Deadshot, shot dead. From Will Smith's birthday, September 25th, to the date his father died, November 7th, that's 43 days later, or a span of 44 days. And again, Will Smith and kill 44. From Will Smith's birthday to his death. Will Smith's 48 years old right now, Hollywood 48, To get to be a Will Smith in this world, on TV, the movies, you have to truly sell your soul, sign your life away to this game. It's very obvious that that's how this world is being run by the people who control the entertainment industry, the money. That's why we read about all these people dying by the numbers, having their family members die by the numbers. I have so many videos more than proving this point. See my work on the death of Michael Jordan's father. That's undeniable information. Same thing again and again. Pierre Thomas said he witnessed the shooting. The name Pierre, plus Pierre Thomas in New Orleans, Manchurian athletes, French territory, Pierre. Pierre equals 44, like kill, like shooting, like Will Smith. You got Pierre Thomas witnessing it. They were together at the dinner function with the police just before the suspicious shooting. Here's the film Suicide Squad. I wrote this before the movie came out. Wrote this in April. That film came out on August 5th, 2016, which was a date with 49 numerology. Will Smith starring in it. Dead shot. Will Smith shot dead. August 5th. Can be written 8/5, National Football League equals 85, or flip it around 5/8, Freemasonry 58. From the date of his death until the date of the movie was 118 days. Death in Jewish gematria is 118. If you count the end date, it's 119 days. All-Seeing Eye 119, Star of David 119, Master Plan 119. There was a game synced up perfectly with the death of Will Smith earlier this year, too. Also against the division rival, the Atlanta Falcons. They won this game. At halftime... Oh, it's too much to explain. This video is already getting too long. But anyway, just here, something else to show you from this game. Just look at this shot right here. This is the preview before that Falcons-Saints game. Saints player... this clip coming in to block the punt, but if you look at beyond the action, look, they got a number 44 stuck in the background in this shot. This game was all synced up with the death of Will Smith, too. Got a video on this. Rebirth in gematria, they have emphasized. Rebirth sums to 44, like Will Smith. Clever with the 44 in the shot. Also, if you've never seen this film, again, this is Focus, the football-related movie starring Will Smith set in New Orleans. This movie came out on February 27th. Remember, Will Smith's full name equals 227. Came out on a date with 44 numerology. 44. 64 as well. New Orleans Saints 64. At the time of the killing of Will Smith, the football player, CNN did a story And in the middle of the story reporting on his death, the camera just goes to this word focus, and it just sits there, zoomed in on this word focus for no reason. And then it goes on with the story. This movie Focus is all part of the riddle of what's going on here. And in this film, Will Smith's character, he's a hustler. He explains in one scene how he uses numbers to swindle a man out of millions of dollars. Some 44s in this film. They got a 55 in this film. He swindles the man by tricking him with the number 55. The word numerology equals 55. MTV has gematria 55. Again, Will Smith was at the MTV Movie Awards the night Will Smith, the football player, was killed. Again, gold and black theme at the MTV Movie Awards. In this scene, they have this guy, number 42, run right into the picture before the scene cuts out. Freemason 42, one of the numbers they love to code again and again. So there it is, Truth Seeker, you know. It's sick, isn't it? The point of understanding this information is not to profit off of it, not to gamble off of it, but to wake up your fellow man who are invested in these rig sports that are run by the worst among us, you know. Ritual sacrificed, fake death, either way, it's disturbing. And all synced up with the way these games are scheduled. I mean, think about this stuff. People think I'm crazy, but I'm just exposing what the crazy people are doing, you know? Till next time, Truth Seeker.